Previously on Hiking Adventures.
And the Boulder Trail is blazed in red. So I guess this is the way. Yikes. Just when you think you're on track. No, I call all my hikes hiking adventures. This one may truly prove to be an adventure. Alright. So it looks like we have to head this way. Looks like we're heading right into someone's backyard, but that's the way it's pointing. So this has been a very interesting hike, I'll tell you. This boulder field, I'll tell you, these boulders better be impressive for what, well, I finished the loop, and there was not a boulder bigger than, I'd say, 2 feet along that trail. I apparently just stepped on a bee's nest and got myself stung. Oh, we haven't had a hike like this in a long time.
Welcome back to another hiking adventure. Uh-oh. Does this look familiar, maybe? From a couple of years ago, I am at the Flint Hill Conservation Area. Yes, I have returned here a couple of years later. This spot looks even more overgrown now than it did in mid-September a couple of years ago, here in mid-May. Wow. This is the right way, right? This is already starting again here right at the very beginning. Yep, there it is. The orange and red blazes. So if you didn't see the first Flint Hill video, it was a rather interesting hike for me, to say the least. I titled it A Very Interesting Hike Around Flint Hill. The root of all the problems that happened in that video were mainly because I went down the wrong trail. I was under the impression that the red trail was the Boulder Trail. It is not. It is the orange trail is the Boulder Trail. So we did not see the boulder field that was here, which is the main thing I wanted to see a couple of years ago. So I know for a fact we need to go down the orange trail today, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to go see this boulder field, the boulder field that eluded me in our last hike. This is the spot where things really started going downhill. I remember I kept going that way trying to find the trail, but I know it's this way. So we are off to a relatively smooth start this time here at Flint Hill. So we're going to keep on going. This is a long opening clip. So we've come up to this little, almost like a rock slide here. This was a big mining hill back in the day. Very interesting spot. This is not the boulder field. I have high hopes for these boulders. We are right near Pawtuckaway, and of course Pawtuckaway is the king of the boulders. They have the undisputed biggest boulders I've ever seen. So I have high hopes that these will be good boulders, to see that this will be a very good boulder field. Looking forward to it. Okay, so I just came from that way. We've come up to an intersection. We have the yellow trail that way. We have the red trail that way that I went down the last time. I'm not going that way. I'm going to go this way, which is actually still the red and orange trail combined, but it will eventually become just the orange trail. We have a big tree blocking the trail, so that's a good continuation of Flint Hill madness. All right, so we're going to keep going. I'm going to jump over this and continue. Well, you never know what you're going to get here at Flint Hill, that's for sure. So I did show this spot in the first Flint Hill video, the swampy wetland area. It was actually a day a lot like today with the cloudy skies, but the sun, as I was panning around, the sun came out for the first and only time of the day. But this is where I decided to turn it around and head back, not knowing that I was on the boulder trail and actually heading toward the boulders. But this is where I did call it, and retrace my steps and call it a day. But this time we are going to continue down the orange trail, and we are going to see the boulders. So I was flying down the orange trail, almost missed the fact that we have a pretty abrupt, sharp turn here. As we continue down the orange boulder trail, I have not seen a boulder yet, but we haven't finished the loop yet, so we'll see what's going on as we do this final leg. This should be the final leg of the loop here, so hopefully some boulders start coming up. Well, there are some boulders on the side of the hill. I wouldn't really call that a boulder field. We're not done with the loop yet, so I don't know, but we're going to keep on going and maybe return to this spot. I don't know. So, quick story time. The orange trail is right there. After the last clip that I made, I continued down the orange trail. I reached the end of the orange trail. I completely hiked the entire orange trail. There were no more boulders beyond the trail, or beyond the last clip along the trail. So I did turn around and hike back out here. And yeah, this must be the boulder field. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little anticlimactic after everything that we've gone through here in Flint Hill, but here they are boulders. Of course, again, we are right near Pawtuckaway, which is why I was expecting big boulders that were bigger than this. Of course, Pawtuckaway has like, 30, 40-foot boulders out in their boulder field. That was one of the first hiking adventure videos I made. I think that was probably back in 2016 that we went out there and saw those boulders, which were awesome. But here they are. They're nice boulders. There's no such thing as a bad boulder, and there's no such thing as a bad hike, by the way. Out hiking through the woods, there's nothing better. No matter what's out there, I mean, being out in the woods is great. Like, I wouldn't even consider the first Flint Hill video that I did a bad hike. There's no such thing as a bad hike. But anyway, here are the boulders. And you know what? I think we're going to name that one, that pointy one, Boulder of the Hike right there. That's the one that's going to get the designation. Right there. There's another pretty good one up there, but there's your Boulder of the Hike. So here is your boulder field. So there's that shot of the boulder field that we saw the first time, the mini boulder field. So we are back on the orange trail as we continue to hike down the orange trail, or I guess for me, hike down the orange trail again. All right, so there you go. Again, a mini boulder field. There are much bigger boulder fields around, not even just at Pawtuckaway. A few years ago, we hiked up, what was that, Dumpling Town Hill, which is off the Rockingham Rec Trail. That had a really cool boulder field on it too, and I wasn't expecting a boulder field there. I remember I had to hike through kind of like an alleyway where there was big boulders on each side. That was cool. But anyway, like I said, no such thing as a bad boulder, just small boulders. Those were small ones. Again, little anticlimactic after the first Flint Hill video. So I'm back out to this open spot. I say open in quotes. I can't believe how much more overgrown it is here in mid-May than it was in mid-September a couple years ago. But that was Flint Hill once again. That was the Flint Hill boulder field once again. So we can, if nothing else, we now have closure on the Flint Hill boulder field. It's a nice hike. It is. It's a nice hike, a nice place. Like I said, there's no bad hikes unless, you get hurt or hopelessly lost. But, other than that, it's a nice walk through the woods. There's nothing better. So with that said, I hope that you enjoyed this hiking adventure. Thank you for watching.